Salam, hello and welcome. I'm making this video today because I have a small issue with the auxiliary lights on the roof of my truck. The issue simply is they don't work. Let me show you what I mean. Going inside the truck, there is a switch here. This is the switch for the lights. And actually the lights, they have direct connection with the battery, so it does not require that the truck or the engine switch to be on. The switch here have an LED light indicator. This is the turn on position, so the light should come on. The indicator doesn't work, the lights doesn't work. Kind of I have the feeling that the power is not reaching the lights. So I'm going to investigate this now. Okay, so small history about these lights. They actually were installed by Ford. I didn't install the light bar or the connection or the lights. The only thing I did to them is these used to be Hela 500 halogen lights, 55 watts I believe each one, and I upgraded to LED. So yeah, the connection was made by Ford. This is how I took it from the dealership. This is a high rider model, so it comes with 6-inch lift up kit, aftermarket headlights and tail lights, 20 inches rims or wheels, and some few other changes as well, like this T-Rex front grille. Those lights I installed by myself and they still work, and this makes me so proud. Seems I did a better job than Ford. Now before jumping and diving through the cables trying to find what's the error, I'm going to show you how the electrical connection for such lights works. What are the parts involved, how the connection is being made. If you understand this, you will know where to start, what components to look for, and how to check the different components of the electrical connection. This is the typical wiring setup which is being used for the lights. It can be used also for other applications that can be installed on the car, such as winch, roof lights, and to supply the power to a trailer in case the truck or the SUV does not have a towing kit. The components are as following. Here's the switch where you turn on and off, a relay. Actually there's a couple of them here because this is a dual harness, so it has two circuits. It can supply the power to two separate circuits, and that's why the switch has two bottoms here. So a switch, a relay, and that's typically how the relay is. A fuse. Now I've taken the fuse out, a simple fuse, and this is the output line. And these two cables here are the power supply cables. So one power supply circuit for the switch and the other power supply circuit is for the relay. And this is where the lights or the application is receiving their power, through these power cables. The way it works in very simple way is when you turn off the switch, it sends a signal to the relay. The relay actually is a bigger switch, so it can handle high current withdrawal that this switch cannot handle. And this is the point of having the relay. Typically in any car, the headlights will have a relay like this, and any circuit, almost any circuit in the car will have fuse for it, and that's why you have a fuse box in the car. Sometimes you have two fuse boxes in the car. So the switch sends a signal to the relay, and the relay is turned on. And once the relay is turned on, it opens up the circuit and sends the electrical current to the output lines. I'm going to demonstrate quickly how it works. Right, this cable is connected to 12 volts DC power line, and this is going to simulate the car's battery. So I'm going to take positive lines and connect it with a positive terminal. And then the ground lines and connect it to the negative terminal. And I'm going to use this simple light to simulate auxiliary lights or any other application. So I'll connect the black cable with the ground. like so, and the red cable with a positive line. So simply when I turn on the circuit, the light will come on. Now also, when I turn on the circuit, you'll hear the relay clicking, and that means that the relay is working. So that's actually one way to check if the relay is working, is listening to this clicking. If you have a malfunction in your electrical circuit and you then don't hear any clicking from the relay, then it's most likely that the relay is defected and has to be replaced. And this is simply how the electrical circuit works for any auxiliary application. And for the most part, this is the same principle that is applied for many electrical circuits in the car, such as headlights and AC. Now, typically with an electrical issue of this kind, the first thing to look at is the fuse. If you have a bad fuse, then the lights are not going to work. So I came and I checked. Now, those fuses, they belong to the auxiliary lights which I installed, and these, they belong to the lights installed by Ford, and this is what I found. So there is this fuse housing is completely shot. It's broken in half. So this will have to go. I'll have to replace this. But I know that this is only half the problem. Ford did it in a very strange way. They have installed a fuse on the ground wire, a fuse on the positive for every circuit. Now, these lights, they work in two electrical circuits, not just one. So every two lights, the two on the left, they work on one circuit, and the two on the right, they work on another circuit. And that's why they also have two relays. And these are the relays here. Here's 1 and 2. So this is only half the problem. There is an issue still with the second circuit here because the lights there are not working. Before I go and I replace this, I'll investigate what's the issue here and if it is a matter of bad fuse. So action number 1, I'm gonna check the fuse and see if it is in good condition. And actually, the fuse seems to be okay. So it's not a matter of bad fuse, it's something else. Okay, I'm going to use a tester to see if the current is reaching this point. So I'll install, because this is a positive line, I will install the other end of the tester on the negative terminal and then see if there is a current. So the current is reaching this point, but it's not reaching here, or maybe is reaching here, but there is a bad component, a bad relay, or bad light, or maybe a bad connection. The next step will be to bypass this fuse connection and connect this directly to the terminal. Okay, so I have turned the light on. What I will do now is I'll connect, this is a cable, these are both ends of the cable, so I'm going to connect one end at the positive terminal of the battery, and I'm going to connect the other end at this end of the fuse cable. If I connect now and the light turns on, then I know that there is an issue in connecting between both ends of the fuse. Connection. Even from here you can see that the light is on, right? Check this out. As you can see, only two lights are working. Okay, so now I know that the issue is simple, and I have experienced this previously, and that is, you see this metal part inside the fuse housing. Sometimes this changes shape. So the shape of this part is changed and it's not making a contact with the fuse. And this is the issue. And there is a very easy trick to treat this. I'll show you what trick I'm going to use. So this is actually a piece of aluminum foil. Nothing more than just aluminum foil, and I'm gonna fold it this way. Okay, I'm gonna cut it a little bit from here to make it fit inside the housing. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll take the piece, I'll drop it in here, in this part of the housing, and put the fuse back. If it doesn't work from this end, then I'll try to put another piece here at that end. Let's see. Oh, right away. You see, the light came on instantly. Yeah. So I've sorted out half the problem now. It was only a matter of bad connection in the fuse housing itself. I'm going to replace this now with a new fuse housing. Okay, so I got a brand new fuse, and you can tell it's brand new because it's still connected, it's uncut, so I'm gonna cut it now. So the fuse is ready, just have to prepare it from this end. Okay, so I'm gonna strip the wire on both ends. And two. Now to prepare this, I'll pull it all the way to get the maximum length, and then throw it in the garbage, then cut it from here as well. Ideally, the best way to connect the new fuse here with these cables is by soldering, but I figured I'm having a problem. I don't have the right size of heat shrink tube, and besides, I'll use a different method today. I've used this previously, and it was alright, never had an issue with it. So I'll strip the cables at both ends here. In order to connect the fuse, I'll be using these climbing bits. They are basically a metal tube hidden inside a plastic housing. So once you get it in, then you squeeze it and it holds permanently. So this is how to install it. Once it's fully seated, I'll come with this part of the pliers and crimp it or squeeze it. And this has become part of the cable now. So I'll do the same thing at the other end over here. Squeeze twice. I like to squeeze it twice just to make sure. Yeah, to make sure it's completely stuck, and it is. I'll do the same over here. And the beautiful thing about using these bits is that you typically don't need any tape or insulator. It's already insulated. Two connected well, yeah. Couple of things I want to do. This is already connected now. Still, I'm going to use a tape here for added protection, and then I'm not gonna leave it hanging like this. I'll zip tie it to the rest of the cable loom. I'm going to stabilize the fuse now, not to leave it hanging this way. I'll use zip ties for that. So here's one at this end. So I'm not gonna squeeze it too tight. It's just meant to hold it in place. And another one at this end. And this is done. So now let's go and see if the lights are gonna work as they should. Yay! All right, so this actually concludes the repair for today. Now I think luckily for me it was just a matter of broken fuse housing and bad connection in the other fuse. If it wasn't that, I was going to check the relays and see if they work as they should, check the connection to the relays and see if they actually connect as they should. If the relay is good and checks out clean, then next step will be to check the connection between the relay and the light itself. And if the connection is actually working as it should, then I'll check the light and see if the light is working or not. Because simply, it's maybe a case of a dead light. I'm so happy. This was very easy and very quick repair. The reasons were straightforward. Now some of that came back from previous experience. The connection and the fuse housing, it was a dog to me. This has happened to me previously and I spent a couple of days testing and I spent really long time testing until I came to figure that there is a bad connection in the fuse housing itself. Because everything else checked clean. I tried to change the fuse and nothing has happened. When I bypass the fuse connection, everything works. So I came to know that it's actually the fuse itself, the fuse housing itself. The idea here is understand how it works so you can plan how to fix it. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, be safe, and do it yourself.